What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 54 of my Total Warhammer 3 Boris Ursus and Yerogni Zinoviev campaign. So as we saw last time, 'twas not Boris nor Yerogni that were the stars of the show, but rather our war sleds who managed to destroy a Khornate army essentially by themselves, as well as the Demigryph Knights with halberds who were able to essentially conquer Zoishank by themselves. Well, not quite by themselves, together with the heroes and stuff, but they did the Griffin's share of the work. So that was pretty fun. However, this time we're looking forward to something hopefully a lot more fun. As we have noted, Boris is currently, while not surrounded, sort of surrounded, at least from a long distance perspective, by 8 full stacks of various types of demon armies. Lots and lots of stuff to do. Scarbrand is in fact right beside us with a pretty darn elite army. 3 bloodthirsters in there indeed. And I'm pretty excited to fight all this, so hopefully that'll happen soon. I'm a little bit worried about Frozen Landing because there's a lot of enemies moving nearby and they're all looking like they're gearing towards it. It kind of makes me think perhaps we want to summon an ice switch here, but the only one we have left is this one. And we might, and I was keeping you because you have upkeep production for cavalry for our eventual Griffin Legion Lord. We could of course summon one of these basic units, but there won't be enough time to prepare a defense. At least it'll provide a little bit of extra, not healing, but leadership. The only problem is they're already so low on funding. We'll drop to like minus 4,000 per turn. And honestly, I don't think it's going to save us from the 4 armies here. Boris needs to run here, essentially. He needs to kill Scarbrand and needs to get here immediately before they do. I don't know if we can beat them. Or we can beat them without Boris, is what I'm saying. Of course, Boris and Yerogni could take care of business, but, well, they're not there to do so right now. Anyway, I believe we have done everything that we could do this turn, so we're ready to go next, and we're ready to see what all those armies do. Pretty exciting times. Let's get to it, I guess. Although, if you're going to attack the Frozen Landing rather than siege it, perhaps we can summon a lord for at least 1 turn. Leadership when in own territory, leadership when fighting against units but not a known territory. Okay, so I guess Khosrow Headman is the better option here. It would be nice to have a caster, but I don't want to lose a unit that's actually... Well, honestly, she's not great, but I mean, she can at least cast. So yeah, let's take the Boyar. Gonna go to like minus 4k. Well, only 3.2k. It's a little better. Do we want to give you any items for this or no? I'm thinking no. Probably don't want to lose any items, but there might be an ancillary or two. I don't care about the control or the recruit rank. You're obviously not getting any of that. Income from buildings, lots of tax collectors here, and we hear success chances. Yeah, nothing here is going to help you, is it? I don't think so. None of that. Bailiff, more control in the province, construction, campaign line of sight. We could give you a banner, but then we just lose it next turn anyway. Lots of useless banners. It's really unfortunate that we can't use more than 1 banner of the same type in an army. Also, if we start recruiting at least 1 unit, I do believe that these guys will immediately siege us. I think he's going to attack us here anyway, but just in case, well, let's siege, I guess. Yeah, these guys are all allied too. Alrighty, well, let's end the turn and let's see what everybody's got. More importantly, let's see if Scarbrand wants to come out and play. And don't tell me he ran away. Wow, apparently Scarbrand is a little coward. Okay, it looks like the ogres, however, are going to attack us here. That should be a fun time. These sky junks are going to be kind of a problem, but otherwise... Okay, let's see if we can pull this off. What levels do we have here? The levels on the lords aren't that high. I can't actually tell what level you are. I would like to know, because if you're like a level 40, that's going to be an issue. Anyway, I guess we'll fight this cinematically because, well, this might be pretty interesting. Get to it. Alrighty, here we go. I'm actually pretty darn excited for this one. Like the Temple of Heimkel and like the Darkhold, we have some dangerous units that we have to deal with, and we are outnumbered, and I'm hoping for a damn fine fight. Now, there are several units, as I said, that are very, very concerning, mainly the 3 Sky Junks, as well as the Stonehorn. The Lords and Heroes aren't as concerning because they are hunters and mages, and thus they will not be so armored like tyrants that are going to be causing an issue. And damn, I was hoping it would be the there are rocket sky junks, and then there are cannon sky junks, correct? Well, these guys are going to do a lot of damage now. One volley took out a good, well, actually didn't do a lot of, it didn't kill a lot of models, but it did do a decent amount of damage. Not that it hit quite correctly. Anyway, here's the plan. So we are separating our forces into 3. The least amount is here. Our 2 sets of Kosovo dervishes are going to try to distract the Stonehorn and prevent it from joining the battle for as long as possible. The goal is to get as many towers up as we possibly can. Now, this is one of the best maps for us to defend on, for the simple reason that the main point, the key building, actually has 5 full towers attached to it directly. We can basically abandon the entire base and hold this line, and this or this line, and basically hole up in the center while building 5 full towers and even some barricades if we decide to do so. One of the best maps, especially compared to some of the ones that we have fought in recently, wherein the key building had control of like 1 tower, and then, yeah, we had nowhere to really build our stuff on. Of course, our magical towers will not be very useful here, but our piercing towers very much will. We also want to do as much damage to these 2 armies as possible before the second army arrives here. Oh, they have a Mournfang unit in there as well, so we'll try to achieve that. Now, in light of that, I've put some forces to defend against this in a nice little formation where we can hopefully lead the enemy into this little kill zone. The armored Kossars with great weapons and the 2 regular Kossars will hopefully be able to fire on anything that moves down here, and the regular Kossars will help as well. Whereas the rest of our forces, both our units of Zargard and 5 full units of Kossars with spears, are out here. The goal, have all the Kossars fire on the Sky Junk and bring it down, and then have the Zargard kill the Gobos, as well as the Hunter and the Hunter, and I believe there was a Slaughter Master in there as well. Let's see the Sky Junk fire. There we go. Alright, ooh, firing on the Zargard that time, a little bit unfortunate for us. How much damage have you taken thus far? About 20% maybe? Still plenty of damage to go. The enemy Slaughter Master has smacked our Patriarch and is now chasing him around, which is bit unfortunate. Our Patriarch obviously can't fight him, but oh, did he just get blocked there? I've also retargeted a couple units of our Kossars to try to fire on the enemy Lord as well, who's now dropping a little bit faster, mostly because we want to preserve the Patriarch, as otherwise we might suffer a bad morale shock. As we can see, however, our other units are bringing down that Sky Junk slowly but surely. It's below half HP, and the Focus Fire will take it out eventually, though it will probably delete a unit by the time it is dead. At least, it'll delete enough units as to have been worth a unit. Otherwise, the Zargard have killed the Goblins pretty much already and have badly damaged the Slaughter Master, which is about as expected. That's all going well. Over in the north, the enemy has charged into our kill zone, kill box, whatever, both Iron Guts and Ogre Bulls, and I believe there was a Peasant Horseman unit or some kind of Horseman unit in here as well. I don't remember what kind of horses it was. I swear I saw a Cav unit in this army, but I no longer remember. Anyway, that thing is dead, and these guys are about to fall as well. This actually worked out quite well. The Ogres are large targets, of course, and then all of our units are able to shoot over each other's heads, and while the enemy Sky Junk is able to lay down some supporting fire, it actually isn't a lot. Unfortunately for the AI, it didn't move the Sky Junk close enough, and it is getting a lot of those rocket shots right into our buildings here, and thereby wasting them completely. Alright, these units are now shattered. I do believe the enemy Sky Junk over on this side has fallen. Kind of missed that, but I had to see the other stuff. There's 2 more to go anyway. The enemy Lord appears to be coming back, but then we could just focus him down with all of our arrows since they're not focusing the Sky Junks anymore. There we go. Get a little bit of a morale shock on you. And down you go, buddy. There's still a Hunter remaining, however, and I decided that it might actually be better not to have the Zargard kill the Hunter, but instead have the range units do it. The range units seem to be doing it a lot faster than the Zargard do, which is a little bit unfortunate considering the difference in tier, but sure, whatever. Yeah. He didn't look like he could even shoot or throw his harpoon. He just kept getting staggered by shots from all 5 of those units. Very effective against units with relatively low armor like that. We're also building up our first tower here, which should be able to fire on the sky junk back there, hopefully. Let's see if we can. I do believe I ordered it to do so as soon as I built it. Yeah, as we can see, a lot of those arrows aren't connecting to where they should be. Maybe it can't fire through this. Maybe this thing will have to move a little bit closer. Oh, it's firing on the gobos. Okay, well then, let it do so. Otherwise, we're going to abandon this location, and we have to really, as quickly as possible, get back into the center, as I was planning to earlier. The second enemy army has arrived, and we will have to defend against it, though I think thus far, it's been going pretty okay, though there is another sky junk still to contend with. This sky junk has wasted a lot of its firepower, murdering our Kosovo dervishes, but that's actually a good thing. First of all, the Kosovo dervishes have spent the entire battle, that's 3 minutes already, leading the enemy Stonehorn away, and while they've been killed doing it, it's very, very much worth it, because that thing couldn't bother us. Otherwise, it would already be in our base. Looks like they're also moving up another Butcher, which is fine by me if they want to sacrifice their hero to another set of arrow fire by itself. Well, I'm not going to complain about that. It actually would be nice if the towers could help out, or maybe they're going after the sky junk this time. Looks like somebody's gotten some damage on him. There we go. That one actually connected. Man, these are some damn sturdy balloons. You would think a lightning bolt striking a balloon like that would just bring it down in a single shot. And yeah, I understand that it's for game balance, but maybe these are ensorcelled in some way as well, so that the balloons, the inflatable bladders, whatever those are, have shields of some sort. I don't know. I don't know exactly how they function. But otherwise they would be way, way more fragile, right? Because they have quite a bit of HP. They have what? They have like 11,000 HP at max or something like that. So as much as a Stonehorn? You're telling me this thing is as durable as a Stonehorn? That's pretty crazy. Yeah, a little over 10,000 HP. And the Stonehorn has... It's actually more durable than a Stonehorn. Interesting. Yeah, it's gotta be ensorcelled in some way, otherwise that wouldn't make sense. Anyway, let's get back to it. We're trying to get as many of our units firing on it at the same time, but as we can see, some of our armored Kossars are dropping, though they are also starting to run out of ammo, so maybe they'll be a little bit less useful. Perhaps this was a mistake, and perhaps I should have actually moved them away rather than have them try to gun it down, but well, I wanted this thing dead. It did start to move up, and I figured with the help of our towers this would go a little bit better. But I want to see the death of this one, since we missed the other one. And yeah, that Butcher is also dying at the same time, but well, we have to pick. Oh, it looks like you're trying to run away, and down you go, buddy. Nice. Oh, I like how it collapsed into the city there. Alrighty, and the enemy Butcher has indeed... Oh, it actually didn't die. He survived with 125 HP. Too bad we didn't have a tower just shoot him in the back after he got away. Now we're, as you can see, booking it up here as fast as possible. The enemy army, the second reinforcing army is almost here, plus the extra troops that are coming in from that side. Though the Stonehorn got led all the way to this edge of the map. That worked out pretty perfectly, I gotta say. That poor Stonehorn. Feel bad for the enemy army because they can't use those. Alrighty, we're also building a second tower, or have built a second piercing tower, and they're doing good sniping enemies from a distance. We've also built a barricade blocker here, though I'm not 100% sure on this one. I might actually replace this barricade with a monument, the thing that gives plus to melee defense. And I'll think about you as well. We'll put the another barricade up here, but yeah, once again, I'm not sure about this one, because we do have Zargard, and somebody will probably have to block this stuff. But anyway, I guess now it's time just to wait a little bit while the enemy moves up, so we're going to speed up the battle a little bit. There we go, the barricade's up, and we're going to have to barricade ourselves behind it, and since we can't put up a barricade here, which I do find a little bit weird, like, there should probably be symmetry here. Both of these areas should have barricades available to them. It's a bit odd that the game doesn't have... Or maybe you can. No, it doesn't look like it. Well, then it's strange. Already, it looks like some ogres are going to charge, but Zargard are now here. Oh, did you really miss that? Our Zargard are now here, and I'm pretty confident in their ability to hold the line. Plus, we do now have a bunch of our Kossars, both armored and otherwise, are ready to shoot these guys down. And we have extra troops now. Now that everybody's in the center together, we can have a lot of troops relying on each other instead of one single line for the enemy to penetrate, essentially. There we go, that looked like a nice hit by our tower. And these ogres are just about out of the picture really, really quickly, dropping those ogre bulls. I mean, that's not surprising, they're merely ogre bulls, but still. And over here, the barricade is blocking the enemy Mournfangs and the enemy ogre bulls with Iron Fists. It is allowing us to get at least a few shots in with our arrows, but unfortunately not as many as I'd like. So maybe the barricade was not the best option here. Perhaps we would have done better by putting up a platform for our range units to fire down on. And speaking of, over here, there we go, we've changed this to the monument barricade. I'm not sure now whether this is the right idea or not, but the extra leadership and melee defense would really help all the units hold the ground. And lots more units are coming. That Skyjunk is on the way, the Stonehorn, though fortunately the Skyjunk is almost out of ammo. Looks like these guys are now through. We're starting to get surrounded a little bit, but the balance of power is almost even now. And that I can certainly live with. Alrighty, there we go. Looks like our Zargard's still holding the line, though they do have a lot of enemies among us, but the arrows just keep on raining, and these guys are not so good at defending against that. They're not Stonehorns, after all. And they're gonna start dropping, and that's a lot of arrow fire. I believe all 5 or 6 units are firing at them at the same time right now, and it looks like the Iron Fists are pretty much done for, and so are the Mournfangs. Though I'm sure they did some decent damage to our Kossars and our Zargard. There we go, they are now routing. Over on this side, it looks like the chain rout is actually happening. I immediately did spawn our Elemental Bear right behind the enemy units to try to terrify them. I also got to remember that the terror effect, I believe, isn't actually related to melee contact. I think it's more like some kind of aura, isn't it? Because I do believe I've seen units get terrified before they actually directly touched a unit. But either way, that seemed to have worked out really well. Surprisingly, the Stonehorn actually routed before it got into battle, or perhaps unsurprisingly, considering it got led all the way to the corner of the map. But that worked out real nice. I'm pretty happy with the result this time. We just gotta kill as many of these units as we can. Let's see if that Slaughter Master dies, and there we go. Nice job sniping him, Tower. He was only level 5, so they might get a higher level Lord to replace him, but still. There we go, a heroic victory. A little bit surprisingly well, perhaps. Once again, this is a really good base, so we did luck out in which one we got to defend this time around, and I guess with the Stonehorn as well. Everything really lined up in this defense, though I guess it was a little bit less epic by virtue of our losses not being as crazy as the battles in Heimkel and Darkhold, but it was a fun battle nonetheless. Alright, I gotta say, the AI got absolutely screwed over this battle. As in, the way that the 2 Kossovite dervishes seem to have broken the Stonehorn's little pebble brain and prevented it from actually contributing to the battle was a huge blow to the AI, and after that it couldn't really do anything. Also, it kind of did waste its Skyjunks. If it had advanced with the entire force in one location under support fire from those Skyjunks, it would have been so much scarier, especially with the help of that Stonehorn. But unfortunately for the AI, that's not what it did. We're going to recover as much as we can because these guys might come back for another round, but this is nice because we don't have to now have Uragni bail everybody out. Let's see. Uragni's too nice to say it, but he's probably sick of bailing everybody out constantly. You, Auckland, you want a military alliance now. Strength rank 24. I still don't really care about the military alliance, but I mean, does it hurt? I mean, you're the only one that we don't have an alliance with. At this point, I guess there's no point in not doing it, because basically everybody's in a military alliance in this block. We might as well join the block fully. Screw it. Alright, there we go. Now, one thing I am very disappointed in... Wait, what? Oh, Scarbrand? What? Oh, Scarbrand. Oh, no. Oh, you poor, poor red fool. I feel sorry for you. Well, looks like it's time for another cinematic battle against Scarbrand this time, who in fact did not see that Boris was going to murder him, but went ahead and marched right past him. Oh man, I guess it'll be Red Olgor who comes in and tries to take Krakadrak. Oh man, we have to try to stay in this territory, at least at the edge of Krakadrak, which ends... Oh man, it ends like right here, which means not a lot of movement. I wanted to move up here so we can destroy Eddic if it came down to it. Oh, you can keep building stuff. Do this, and while you're at it, I can't really afford stuff, but if we could defend better, that would, well, be better. You know what? Allied recruitment for at least one more turn. Either this guy sieges us, in which case, yeah, or he doesn't, in which case, yay. I think for this, let us recruit a couple mortars. They're cheap. I don't want to waste too much of the allegiance, because I do kind of expect this place is fairly likely to die. Then, if possible, it would be nice to get a couple of extra armored cossers in here. I don't want to waste too much money because, once again, if this place gets sieged next turn or immediately attacked, this recruitment stops, especially if we lose. So that's just money down the drain. A snow leopard might kill an enemy lord that comes in. And the Tzeentchian army seems like it would be a very, very dicey proposition to deal with altogether. Anything here that doesn't cost insane amounts of cash. I think the only thing that costs not insane amounts of cash is just more Kossars. Well, just keep building Kossars then. It's all we got. There you go. I mean, this is all later going to probably have to be deleted, but you know, with the sheer amount of armies back here, we really need the extra forces. In fact, you know what? Maybe just... I'm just thinking now, do we max out the building of the Kossars, or do we keep building them like this? The thing is, if we build too many, they're gonna be like, oh no, Frozen Landing is too tough to attack, therefore we will not attack it. And that's actually worse, because then they'll just bypass it and go to Heimkill. You know what, let's reduce this number. Let's do it like... that. I mean, I suppose if they attack... Oh, they are in a defensive alliance. If they attack us together, then they will attack. Damn it. And it depends on if they siege or not. Okay, no, maybe we are okay building. Actually, if this guy sieges, this will get cancelled anyway, and this guy will probably land right beside him and they'll attack together anyway. Interesting. Well, either way, that's all irrelevant for now, because Scarbrand, you're about to face Boris in battle. Alrighty, I feel bad for Scarbrand. Why? You missed Boris. You missed him. Out from the blizzard come the bears to kill the exiles of Khorne.
Men of Kislev do not need speeches. They only need courage.
Alrighty, here we go. Scarbrand has come out to play. I am very, very excited for this one, though it is unfortunate for Scarbrand that his army is in march stance. I guess they're only tired, not exhausted, but still. And oh, it's that weird graphical bug, which is a little bit unfortunate considering that Scarbrand has like one of the best models in the game. Like, it is absolutely fantastic. Can't quite tell because of this weird graphical bug. It tends to happen on elemental bears a lot, but huh. And actually, it does happen on greater demons, now that I think about it. It happens to the Lords of Change constantly as well. I wonder why. Hope it's on my graphics card. Well, at least it's still working. Anyway, obviously we're going to start this battle off right, which is by sending in our war sleds and have the enemy whittled down by our little Groms as well. Our little Groms are currently targeting both one unit of Minotaurs with great weapons and one of the Bloodthirsters, whereas our other war sleds have also split their fire between that same Bloodthirster as well as the other unit of Minotaurs over on this side. Unfortunately, one of our war sleds has actually gotten kind of damaged by the enemy Skull Cannon fire, which has been surprisingly accurate this time around. So good job to the Skull Cannon operators, I guess, or gunners. There we go. Looks like the Minotaurs are gonna rush forward, but they're too slow to catch War Sleds. Yeah, the War Sleds are so good at doing this sort of thing. I mean, this is an elite unit, a tier 3 unit, and it's a high chevron unit, very high damaging in melee, but it can't get to us, and it's just going to continue taking damage from our sleds. Also, it looks like the enemy Bloodthirsters got a little bit upset at what's been going on and are now chasing our War Sleds down. I wonder if that axe actually connected. But there we go. We're going to summon our Elemental Bear first, right here, to try to block off one of the Bloodthirsters, and hopefully, ooh, one of our War Sleds goes down to Skull Cannon fire. Very nice. But yeah, try to distract one of those Bloodthirsters, maybe allow the War Sleds to continue attacking them, or maybe the Little Groms. As long as they're distracted, they ain't doing damage to our Zargard or our Warbears. It looks like this one's going to give chase and get all the way to our line. I actually want to... that bear sort of stood up. Oh, man. It looked like he wanted to attack that Bloodthirster, and that was the plan. I wanted Boris to charge the Bloodthirster, who's landing among our Zargard. There we go. That's nice. Ooh, and Boris is looking like he's taken damage from Skull Cannon fire. There was an explosion right behind him, but obviously he doesn't turn to look. He turned away from the explosion and continued looking away from the explosion. And now he's going to charge in on the Bloodthirster, who is trying to do that lift up and attack animation. And there we go. Alrighty, well, a one-on-one, Boris should be able to rip a Bloodthirster apart, but this isn't even one-on-one. Bloodthirsters only have 70 armor. That's a little bit surprising. I would have expected a little bit more. 66, 53, 480 versus 97, 84, 551. Yeah, Boris definitely has the advantage, even if he didn't have Zargard and a Warbear Rider. Fortunately for the enemy, though, the rest of the army is almost here, and they're ready to contribute to the fight. Scarbrand is actually kind of chasing around one of our War Sled units, which is pretty good for us. And I believe that other... oh yeah, it is. The other Bloodthirster is still engaged with our summoned Elemental Bear, which means our little Groms will continue firing on it and hopefully bring it down from a distance. Main thing here is, though, to try to get that fight between Boris and Scarbrand, if we can manage to do so. Gorby's Chariots and Warbear Riders charging into each other. Another Bloodthirster dropping down into the melee here. Minotaurs that have survived are fighting, and so are Blood Crushers dueling with War Sleds. There we go. The Bear Elite versus the Bloody Elite, I guess. Glorious. I've been very excited about this battle, and I'm glad we're getting it. Oh, looks like the other Bloodthirster was able to peel away from the summoned Elemental Bear, though he did do about half damage, and this thing is about dead. The enemy also smartly decides to summon a unit of Bloodthirsters a unit of Bloodletters. What is a unit of Bloodthirsters? That's not a good idea. I mean, it is a good idea for them, but for us, dicey. Dicey indeed. Summon them on top of our little Groms to stop them from firing and protect its Bloodthirsters. A good job, good job. It looks like Scarbrand is also in. Ooh, and the graphical bug is... Nah, it's still back. Damn it. Why are you doing this, game? I just want to see Scarbrand in action. I hope this bug doesn't exist when we eventually get around to doing the Scarbrand campaign in SFO. Alrighty, and Boris is moving towards him now, because obviously the Zargard and the Warbears aren't going to stand a chance against him. Now, let's compare stats a little bit, shall we? So Boris is at 551 attack, but his armor at 130 and 90... what is it? Just trying to click you, Boris. 97 and 84 versus 90 and 70. So his stats are better, or at least a little bit better, on everything but weapon strength, where Scarbrand is superior. However, Boris does have a few extra things that he's got going for him. Like, we do have caster support, and we do have debuffs that we can put down on Scarbrand. Plus, Scarbrand is now very tired as well. I'm gonna get Frostblades going on Boris as soon as possible to get him to continue this duel properly. There we go. Alright, I want to see what his buffs are like with the Frostblades. Alright, with those up, he is now at 126 and 800. Now his stats are distinctly better than Scarbrand's, minus the 1.1k weapon strength, but otherwise considerably better. And he should be able to land a lot more hits because of his 126 melee attack compared to the 70 melee defense of Scarbrand. And as we can see, though Scarbrand is hitting Boris, or at least trying to, Boris has considerably more HP than Scarbrand does. Let's also watch a little bit of the rest of the battle. Not just those two dueling. Looks like the Warbears have managed to bring down one of the Bloodthirsters. Very nice, very nice. And that Bloodthirster, I believe, was actually getting attacked by our Patriarch and our mage who actually moved away there, or maybe it was the Bloodthirster that leapt away, as the larger units tend to do in those animations. Heart of Winter going down as well, and it looks like Scarbrand is down to about 25% HP and is starting to dissipate, whereas Boris is still completely full, and he still has his regeneration and St. Anushka's Fingerbone as well. A very, very nice Boris. I guess those Frostblades and a little bit of magical support was just fine. Plus you had the power of Bear on your side. And there we go, down goes Scarbrand, and the battle, just like that, is over. And it went pretty darn well for us, in my opinion. We didn't take all that much damage. The War Sleds, as always, did very nicely and are continuing to whittle down enemies. But now we're just going to go in the center, and we're going to heal up via a Salyak's Lullaby or two. We still had a few remaining... Huh, wait. They just summoned a unit of Bloodletters after they had chain routed. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was possible. Completely pointless, but I didn't know it was possible. Interesting. Alrighty, everybody in the center, and let's get that Salyak's a Lullaby or two if we can manage it. And then everybody, while will not be at full health, they, I think, will be at such an amount of health that one turn in our own province will mean that we will heal to full next time. Apparently a close victory, but I'm not sure that it was. I don't think we actually took that much damage. We're about to find out what the actual damage was, but yeah. The duel. Beautiful. What a glorious fight! I'd love to get another one of these against a full Khornate stack with Boris's army. That was really nice, and I really like the contrast between the white white color scheme and the white and blue and purple of the Kislevites, and just the red and then the brass and the dark iron of the Khornate forces. All looks very, very nice. Anyway. Well, alright, not too bad at all. For 10% losses, we were able to take out Scarbrand's elite stack, all those high chevron units, and Scarbrand himself. Plus, Boris got to fight Scarbrand, and, well, it didn't look like Scarbrand was threatening him all that much. I mean, when he had his buffs on him, he probably slightly outstatted Scarbrand, but Scarbrand never got his damage high enough for it to be super concerning. He would have gone higher, but the thing is, Boris had more melee attack and defense, so, well, plus the aid of all those anti-large warbears. But anyway, that went quite well for us. Too bad the AI was in March stance for the AI. We also got a nice 12k reward, and we could get another 6k out of it. Yeah, I think we'll take the money. Since we're losing so much cash right now, we really do need to take that. Now, the thing here is, where are you going? And if we go into or if we go into ambush stance, would we be able to kill you next turn? Let's hope so. Let's move up. Let's move up. And I know that this is getting us away from Krakadrak, but if we can kill you, if you move up here with a plan to attack Syoktraken, and then we kill you, and then we move back briefly to Krakadrak just to upgrade the curtain wall in one turn. Oh wait, we don't actually have to be there. We can be here. We don't have to be, it's province-wide. It's not settlement-wide. Oh, that's perfect. Yes, that is absolutely perfect. Alrighty, well, this will help defend greatly. Good. I still don't know whether it'll be able to take this stack. If it's anything like Scarbrand's stack, it's pretty doubtful. And is that Kugath as well? Man. Looks like we'll be facing Kugath, Kairos, and Scarbrand, all three in quick succession, plus all these other armies. Man, all the enemy factions are really coming for us right now, aren't they? This is pretty fun. This just got interesting. And it's been interesting all along, but it just got more interesting, and I am absolutely living for it. Unfortunately, though, we do have to call the episode here. I never know how long cinematic battles are going to run, so... do we have money? No, we don't have money. I never know how long cinematic battles are going to run, so I never do more than 2 of those in an episode, as, you know, sometimes the episode gets too long, so calling it here. Next time, this turn isn't over. Urogny still has stuff to do. Alexandra Kostina was actually moving up here to defend the Sentinels, but isn't technically needed to be there. We'll figure out what we want to do with Urogny about all this, as well as proceeding hopefully down to Erengrad as soon as possible. I guess this army might be in to try to take it, but if they settle it, they will fail, as in they will die. And we also have to figure out whether we actually want to destroy the camp first, or whether we want to colonize Erengrad. I guess that'll have to be something we figure out next time, so stay tuned for lots and lots more action, probably plenty more Battlefield episodes to come, as we can see. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm.
The bluest.
And thanks for watching.